Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time. And I know I say this every single week, but it's super important to me, and I know it is to you, that you walk away after 50, 60 minutes with us today and have some new strategies, some new product ideas that you can start using this afternoon to make more sales, right? And supplement your income, right? Or maybe finish 2025 in the best way possible and come out 2026 with some new marketing campaigns and strategies and be off to the races. So I want to make sure that every single one of you, just like if I had my agent hat on, right? I want to remember these things, because as excited as we get during the next 60 minutes, if we don't remember what the bullets were, or some of the things that we can use in our everyday campaigns or practice, then it all goes out the window. So please take notes, use that Q&A pane. Okay, you can expand it or minimize it, and fire away with questions, comments, feedback, good, bad, and different. We need to hear from our agents, because at the end of the day, we create these based around your feedback every week. So please jump in. Okay, what we're doing today, and I'll just give you the 100-foot overview. And every single week, we have to cater to our agents and make sure that you have everything that you need, right, when you're out in the field, or on a Zoom call or whatever, seminars. It doesn't make a difference, but we need to make sure your toolbox is full. You have the best contracts, direct to the carrier, best commissions, renewals, all the above. And today, what we're talking about is the number one term product in the industry. Okay, I can say it, and I'll say it again: A plus rated, number one as far as term premium in the brokerage space. So we're very, very excited to partner with them, and especially the last 4 to 5 years, we are number one when it comes to a growth percentage increase. So we have done an unbelievable job, and we could never do it without our team, okay, without our agents that are out there making it happen on a day-to-day basis. So thank you to everyone that's on the call. And I know some of you will listen to this in a couple of weeks when we send it out. But either way, we appreciate all of you, and especially partnering with Levinson and Associates since 1972. So my hat goes off to all of you. So what we're going to do today, back to the presentation, we have our field VP that's on with us from Banner Life. And in fact, she has a great presentation. We're going to talk about some of the latest enhancements. And this is a new Banner Life, because as you know, Legal in General was the formal name, still is actually today, but there are some changes in the works. So they will go by Banner Life. I believe January 1, 2026 is the official day. And there's also some new updates that I can't even talk about yet publicly, but I know about them. And I'm just telling you, it is going to take Banner Life. If they were number one today, they'll be number one forever after these two latest updates that are around the corner. When I say around the corner, I'm saying January 2026. Okay, fingers crossed. So we have some amazing stuff to come. Make sure you're contracted. Make sure you're active if you haven't written in a while. And make sure you're obviously with Levinson, because you want to use and leverage our Insure Me Now direct platform and the direct to consumer link, which, by the way, think about this: ages 20 to 60, instant decision and direct to consumer, instant decision up to $4 million, okay, standard or better. And the percentage, and by the way, like in the old days, we used to talk about instant decision, and you had to be walking on water to get an instant decision, okay? And I don't have the percentage in front of me, but I can tell you this: we have over 90 carriers, and I would say about 30 of them now have instant decision one way or another. Banner Life approves more instant decision cases than any other carrier. I'm sure Marty probably has the exact number, but at standard or better, they have the highest percentage for instant decision. So that's huge. Okay, that means it's real. It's legit. It's not just a marketing term. All right. Anyway, enough of my ranting. What we're going to do is give away a set of Apple AirPods and the IUL prospecting book at the end. Make sure you're listening, paying attention, writing down notes. Whoever answers my question first and correctly will walk away with the Apple AirPods, the new version. I'll announce your name at the end. So let's keep moving forward. What I want to talk about, is, and if you listen to my podcast, the last version I did, number 61, with Kent from Texas, which, by the way, you talk about an increase in growth and premium overall. He is number one for 2025, and he is just crushing it. His business is up by over 10 times. And the reason why, and by the way, most of this premium is going to Banner. The reason why is he's working with banks, okay? He has to, in fact, he's working in the SBA loan space where they need a life insurance policy to protect the loan. So just think about that. And now Banner has this new easy platform for collateral assignments that we're also going to go over. Another thing I want to mention, and when you think about this, like years ago, even when I first got into the industry, Banner Life was always known as like the least expensive term product on the streets. And, for your smaller cases, they were the place to go. Not anymore. Okay. For all term cases, they're the place to go. In fact, he has placed a few nice cases with them. I'm saying 50, 60, 80, 90, 100,000 of annual premium. Okay. So this is a big deal. And this isn't the Banner Life that we knew about from 10, 20 years ago. So they have a concierge department. If the case is large enough, they jump in hands on, and they'll help you every step of the way get that monster case placed. And we all know the commissions could be, right, 40, 50, 100 grand on one case. So I also want to talk about, right, is our current environment, where we are today, right? Summertime, end of summer 2025, ending the year strong, hopefully, right? We have our plan in place, and what's going on around us. We just saw an interest rate reduction. Okay, so that's a big deal when you're thinking about life insurance. Why? Because more mortgages now are going to be taken out. Okay, real estate is going to start to increase across the board. And from what I just saw online, there's going to be two more rate reductions in the very near future. That's three reductions, hopefully in a 6 to 9 month period. That means you, as an agent, you can now look again at mortgage protection leads. Okay. And at the end of the day, mortgage protection is just a term policy, especially with Banner. They have all the various term lengths. So you can dial this in perfectly and leverage our mortgage protection lead programs that we offer. So mortgage protection is going to be back bigger and better. My feel for the balance of 25 going into 26. And I think we're going to see a shift in the real estate market, which is great for us life insurance agents, as we know, right? SBA loans, huge. Networking with banks, okay? Financial institutions, huge. If they don't have their own platform, okay, some of the smaller banks don't, you should literally walk in and introduce yourself, right? Just like what Kent did. And it worked fantastic for him, okay? And the last point, what I want to just point out is AI, right? AI is here, like it or not. If it sounds like another language to you, that's okay, but know enough to be dangerous, okay? AI is changing the space. Where does it change for us as agents, okay? Do some research, Google, and then just click on AI. Everything now is at your fingertips, instantly, real time, okay? Marketing campaigns. It's going to change your world, okay? If you have an AI support team, okay, an AI admin assistant, that's where it's going to help you, okay, tremendously. With insurance companies, they're now leveraging, and I know Banner is looking into this as well, AI on the underwriting side, okay, to if you don't have that case that falls into instant decision, maybe it's table two, they're leveraging AI to get you in and out, meaning the agent and client an approval faster, you paid faster, everyone is on their way. So it's happening, it's taking over, okay, and it's a great thing for our industry. And that top point, 29 to 30% of all Americans say they intend to buy life insurance online. Okay, that number just 7 years ago was about a third. Okay, things are changing, and you have to change, right? If we don't pivot, we know what happens. We're riding a horse in reverse around New York City in 2025, okay, which should not be happening. So we got to stay with the times, okay? The younger generation, right? They know all these terms. They're going online. They know about AI, okay? Just know enough to be dangerous. Meet them where they want to be met. And then you start getting referrals and you have their friends, their network, okay, their chat room, whatever it is, okay? But you got to be out there. All right, let's keep, there's a bunch of great stats here that we pulled from Chat GPT, Limra. You can all, you know what we'll do is we're going to send out a thank you email. We'll include everything. And by the way, that podcast, episode 61 on the Bill Levinson experience, you've got to check that out. I think you're going to love it. One of my favorite podcast episodes in the last 8 years that we've done. I think you're going to love it. Tell me your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Let's keep moving forward. Okay, the 2026 Expo is back. The theme is Stack the Bricks in 26. That's the hashtag. And that basically means for you to get bigger and better and be able to pivot, right? And that's what we're going to teach you at this event. All of our top carriers, including Banner, will be at the expo. Write this down, save the date. April 17th is the big day, right? And hopefully you qualify, right? This is free for everyone, by the way. Networking lunch, breakfast, snacks throughout the day. It's a great day to learn, pivot, right, and stack the bricks. So make sure you register before it's filled up. We're capped at 300. Most important, bottom right corner. I want to make sure that you have round trip airfare. You have a beachfront suite paid for by Levinson. Okay. By the way, the hotel, the resort is fully renovated right smack on the beach in South Florida. You don't want to miss this. If you've never been before, it'll be a day you don't forget. I promise you that. If you were there last year and prior years, this one, bigger and better. We're also formally announcing our health division on top of a few other things, a few other surprises that I can't even mention yet, but you'll see what happens. And you'll remember this because I'm on record, by the way. All right, let's keep moving forward. Real fast, what I want to do is talk about what's most important to us. By the way, I have just a couple more minutes and then Marty's going to take the wheel. I know I get a little excited with some of this stuff. So real fast, the recent testimonials. So on the left-hand side from Lily, who's local, she was in at our annuity meeting. You're so kind, Bill. I really appreciate you. It's my pleasure to let other agents know how awesome your agency is. Lily. Tom, right-hand corner. Levinson marketing team has been so helpful to me as I've been working to refine and hone my client target market approach. Andrew and Josh have been very available and knowledgeable in particular cases. I've worked with another IMO before Levinson, and the different and supporting cases, frankly, has been night and day. I highly recommend Levinson to any licensed agents looking for a great place to grow their business. That is everything. Please go on our Google reviews page, our Facebook page, share your thoughts. Okay, and then we send you a prospecting book on us, complimentary. So everyone's a winner. Okay, let's keep moving. 2 more slides and we are done. This is the Life and Annuity 411 leader that goes out every other week. Basically, all this is all of the carriers, products, technology updates, carriers going away, carriers coming on board, anything, rates, everything you need to know in one simple image you can click on, and it saves you of having to go to 90 to 100 different websites, okay, which takes hours. And who knows if you forget your login and password, which I always do. So this will simplify your world. It's in your inbox every other week. Okay, everyone loves cash, $150 cash with your first Banner application. Okay, it's that simple. Okay, if you're new to Levinson with Banner Life, okay, send this in, first app, once it's paid, 150 cash on top of your commissions and renewals on some products, okay, depending on the carrier and product. Let's keep moving forward to my host of the day. We have Marty, who is our internal sales specialist at Banner Life. She's going to dive in. Marty?
Great. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here today with everyone. So over the past several years, and just to make sure you all can see my screen, hopefully, but over the past several years, we have, perfect.
We're good.
Over the past several years, we have become the go-to carrier for quick transactional term up to $2 million. And while we truly value that business and we want to continue to receive that business, the truth is we can do so much more. Over the past year, we've been working hard behind the scenes, enhancing our processes and improving our offerings, all with one goal in mind, to earn even more of your business. And today I'm excited to share some of the key changes that we've made. However, before we dive into that, I just wanted to take a quick moment to give a quick refresher on our products, especially for those who may be new to Banner Life. We offer term, so we are strictly term. So we offer term insurance products ranging in duration anywhere from 10 up to 40 years. That's 40 years of level term coverage. Our issue ages span from 20 up to 75, depending upon the product. So no matter what stage of life your client is in, we have the product to cover their needs. The term products are fully convertible up to age 70 or the full term duration, whichever comes first. And we have increased our premium bands, if you'll notice, allowing us to offer more competitive pricing, especially at the higher premium levels. We offer several riders. Term riders is unique to us. We're the only carrier to offer term riders. And what these do is these allow your clients to ladder or stack coverage within one policy. If you were to look up laddering coverage with any other carrier, they're going to tell you that you need multiple policies. However, your clients can stack up to 10, 15, or 20 years on top of their base plan. They could have one term rider. They could have up to all three. This gives them the flexibility to customize their coverage based on different life stages or financial goals. We offer a child rider. This rider covers all eligible children under one rider. Amounts are either $5,000 or $10,000. The key point to this rider is there's no evidence of insurability required. The only thing that we ask about the children is their name, their date of birth, and what their social security number is. We offer accelerated death benefit. This is a terminal illness benefit, which means if they've been diagnosed with a terminal illness and been given less than 12 months to live, we can accelerate up to the lesser of 75% of their death benefit or $500,000. And then we do also offer waiver of premium if needed. So now that we've talked about that, let's get into the good stuff. So as we said, we've been working really hard over the last year to make changes, to enhance processes, to earn more of your business. And we started out this year, January 1st, with doubling our retention. So we went from $2 million up to $4 million, and that's through a table 4. For anyone who's table 5 through table 12, our retention went up to $1 million. And what this does is it helps give our underwriters a little more flexibility when looking at a case. But what it really allowed us to do was increase that instant decision and exam-free underwriting up to $4 million for those who are between the ages of 20 and 60. So that was huge this year, and we've seen a huge increase just in that business from the $2 to $4 million range over where we were last year. So we're really excited about that. Looking at the statistics, so I know Bill was talking about that. So right now our instant decision rate is at 39%. The exam-free decision rate, so this is the percentage of cases of those who are eligible who are decisioned without the need of an exam, is 82%. 64% of cases are being decisioned within 10 days. So again, just by increasing that retention, being able to offer those instant decision exam-free up to 4% has really just helped speed up the process on that business. However, when we look at the industry and look at those larger cases, which we define as being a face amount of $5 million or higher, or if it has a premium of $10,000 and greater, we're looking at how important these large cases are. As an industry, we're seeing an increased need for these larger cases. So factors like health, age, financial obligations, long-term planning, it's all driving that need for those higher cases. And as the financial landscape evolves, more clients are requiring that $5 million or more. So we really looked at what can we do to help earn that business. So in the beginning, so earlier this year, we created a large case underwriting team. So this team is made up of 7 underwriters. There's a manager. We recently hired a financial consultant to help us with the financial aspects of it. But they will all get these cases. So as these cases come in, so if the face amount is 5 million or more, or it looks like that premium is going to be 10,000 or more, they're all routed to this large case team. These underwriters, every single one of them has at least 15 years of experience within this space. The nice thing is that they have a signing authority of at least $10 million. So when the case comes in and it goes to an underwriter, they're going to keep that case. Whereas before, any of our underwriters could underwrite the case, but if they didn't have that signing authority, it would then they would need to pass it on to somebody else. This way, the underwriter who's underwriting the case, it stays with that underwriter. We also have proactive communication. So when these cases come in, the underwriter's going to take a look at it. They are then going to send Levinson, your case manager at Levinson Associates, going to send them an email and introduce themselves and say, I'm the underwriter on this case. Here's my contact information. I've taken a quick look at this case, and this is what this is what it looks like we're going to need. So again, we're keeping those lines of communication open with Levinson and Associates just to keep them in the loop, because we know how important these cases are. Just a couple of other things that we did this year are financial underwriting. We've made a couple enhancements there. So for third-party financials, we used to require documents for lower amounts. We've now been able to expand that out. So essentially right now, if it's a business case, we aren't going to require third-party financials unless it's 5 million or more. If it's personal coverage, we won't require financials, that financial documentation, unless it's 10 million or more. Another thing that we did is with key person. So if you ever are working with, a key person, the average when you're calculating out the need for a key person, you're usually looking at, their annual compensation, and usually it's 10 times the amount. So that's our normal consideration. However, you may have that unique individual where they need more than that. They are worth more to that company than what they're being compensated for. So if you have a special situation, something like that, definitely reach out to Levinson and Associates, because we could possibly go up to 20 times the amount of their compensation. Again, that would be on a case-by-case basis. So if you've got that unique case, that unique individual where just by explaining to us what the situation is, reach out to Levinson and Associates. They'll then be able to reach out to us, discuss the case, and see if that's something we can do for them. We want to make sure they get the coverage that they need. Now, what I'm really excited about to tell everybody about, and I think this is kind of this is the shining star of this whole presentation, is the collateral assignment process and what we've done to enhance it. So we've essentially digitized the collateral assignment process, and this just helps to speed up that process. I think invariably you get a client who they need to take out a loan, maybe it's an SBA loan, and all of a sudden the bank tells them, we can loan you this money, but we're going to need some collateral, and they will need it in the form of a life insurance policy. And then what is that person to do? So if you keep in mind, now that we have those instant decisions or that quick underwriting up to 4 million, hopefully we can get them the coverage that they need really quickly, so then they can close on that loan. So what has changed? Give you a quick overview and then kind of show you, I'll show you how the application has changed. But essentially, when the client is completing the application, for the specific reason, they're going to need to indicate that the specific reason for the policy is for a loan, and it'll be collaterally assigned. They can provide, once they do that, once they let us know that this policy is going to be collaterally assigned, they will be able to add the assignee information right on the application. If they do that, once the policy is placed in force, the policy will be automatically assigned. So there's going to be none of that paperwork on the back end. As soon as the policy is in force, the policy is collaterally assigned to that lender or to that assignee. Now, what does it look like on the application? When it's an SBA loan, we recommend that they apply for personal insurance. And the reason why we do that is because if the bank is comfortable in lending them that money for that small business, then we should be okay with, trusting the bank has done the due diligence. So if it's for an SBA loan, they can come in and indicate that this is going to be personal insurance. When they do that, towards the end of the application, they will be asked, what is the specific need for this insurance? We have now added loan collateral, and in parentheses, we put SBA loan, so hopefully they understand what they are to select. They can select that there. If it's coming in through the business route, if they indicated that the insurance is for, that the need for insurance is business, that's okay. They also have that loan collateral option there. And as long as they check either one of these, they will then be asked 3 additional questions. They'll be asked how many years the loan is for, what is the amount of the loan, and will the policy be collaterally assigned to the lender? If they answer yes to that, then they will come to the assignment form. This is where they're going to enter in the name of the assignee, provide their address and their phone number, and that's all for the lender. It is vital, if you know coming into this that this policy is going to be collaterally assigned, please stress to your client, it's really important that they put the full proper name of whoever is loaning them the money. So if it's the First Bank of Florida, LLC, make sure they're putting in that name, including the LLC. We've had some come back where the bank is like, nope, sorry, can't take this. We don't have our full name in there. It's okay, we can go ahead and correct it on the back end, but that's just is making the process a little bit longer. So again, can't stress enough that they make sure that they're putting the full proper name of the lender and the full address as well, just to make sure all that information is correct up front. If they do that, and we have all the information when the offer goes out, what will happen then is once we approve the policy, the offer is then released to the client. They're going to go in as usual. They're going to go in, they're going to accept the offer, they will make the payment, and then they're going to download a copy of their policy. As soon as they do that, provided we had all the lender information, that policy will be automatically assigned. Nothing else needs to be done. An email will be sent out to the policy owner almost immediately after the policy is placed in force, confirming that their policy is now collaterally assigned. We will then follow up with that with a letter and the executed security agreement, collateral security agreement. These will be mailed to the lender and to the policy owner. Now, I realize that not everyone can wait for the mail in order to receive that collateral assignment. So the nice thing is that either Levinson Associates, or if you're registered for the dashboard, you all can go in and actually pull these forms from our dashboard. You'll be able to pull the executed collateral assignment form, and they'll also be able to pull the letter. They'll be in separate documents, but as long as you can grab that information, then you can get it to your client, so then they can get it to the bank, so then they can close on the loan. If for some reason they don't have the lender information at the time of the application, That is okay. It just will require the back end work. So as soon as the policy is placed in force, you would need to get the collateral assignment form completed. As long as that form is submitted to us in good order, our customer service department is usually getting these out in 72 hours. So it's still a pretty quick process, even if it is manual. But if we can get them to do this all up front within the application, just think about how quick that is. And then I know probably those of you who have been doing business with us, you're, somewhat familiar with our underwriting. But just want to point out, that when we are underwriting a case, we're really looking at the individual as a whole. And if the person has some medical conditions, that is okay. We are going to look at the person as a whole. We're not just going to look at, their health conditions and then stack them all up and then give it assess a table rating and say, okay, this is what they have. When we look at your client and they have the multiple conditions, we look at each condition and then we determine, does one condition impact the other, and does it do so negatively? If they are two medical conditions and they really don't impact, one is not going to make the other worse, then what we're going to do is we call it blending. And so whatever rate class we give, whatever rate class that is, it's going to cover all of those medical conditions. So let's just say somebody has type 2 diabetes and maybe they have anxiety. If we look at that, if we have to give, maybe we have to charge a little bit more for the diabetes, but whatever we're assessing for that diabetes, it's going to cover the anxiety. So we're not going to add anything extra on for that. Now, obviously, if the medical conditions do impact each other, so let's say, and I'm just using these as an example, I'm not an underwriter, but let's just say somebody has diabetes and maybe they have heart disease. Obviously those do impact each other. One can make the other worse. So in that circumstance, then we may have to stack that coverage. So just as an example, maybe we have to give a table 2 for one and a table 3 for another, then it would come out as a table 5. But again, we're really looking at your client, we're looking at them as a whole, and we're going to do whatever we can to get them the best rate class that we can, and then get that case placed and get them the coverage that they need. Our underwriters have an average of 21 years of experience, so they're very experienced in this. And then always, just as a reminder, if you do have a table rated case and they are non-tobacco, we are basing that table rating off of our standard plus non-tobacco rate class. So right there, that's going to give us a pricing advantage over other carriers that may be assessing that table rating off of a standard underwriting class. And I always just like to kind of point out our sweet spots. Not everybody knows about our sweet spots or they forget about it, but just to give you a few examples, one has to do with tobacco or nicotine. If they have kicked the habit, which congratulations, kudos to them. If they have kicked the habit and they have been tobacco-free, nicotine-free for just 3 years out, they could qualify for Preferred Plus. They could get our Preferred Plus class. Most other carriers are going to require them to wait 5 years. So right there, we have an advantage there. Clients with well-controlled treated hypertension or cholesterol, clients with a family history of cancer, which is not due to hereditary cancer syndrome, those all could be considered Preferred Plus. When we look at preferred, clients with mild asthma on 2 medications or less, as long as it's well controlled. Clients with depression on 1 prescription medication, well controlled. Even mild or moderate sleep apnea could possibly get preferred. And then when we look at type 2 diabetics, if they were diagnosed over the age of 50, again, well controlled, they could be considered standard plus. So, always make sure you take a look at us. If you haven't looked at our underwriting guide, I recommend taking a look at our underwriting guide, especially our build chart. We've got a really competitive build chart out there. We automatically add an inch where we can to see if that helps push your client into a better rate class. So again, we really are looking at your client as a whole because we want to give them the best rate possible. Now that you've worked so hard to get your policies, to sell, to get that life insurance placed in force, just a couple of things that we are doing just to help you kind of conserve that policy, or maybe actually generate some additional business from that policy. We have a term-to-term exchange program. What this allows is it allows those who are eligible to exchange their current term plan for that of a longer term duration. That policy needs to be in the first 4 policy years, the first 48 months. They have to be able to move into a longer term duration based on age. There is no evidence of insurability required. The exchange would be a new policy with full coverage. So we're not going to truncate that coverage. So if they've had an term 20 for 2 years and now they're exchanging it for 30 years, that new policy will be for the full 30 years. Full commission is paid on the net premium increase. And again, this is a great topic for annual policy reviews. I know some people come back and say, well, 4 years really isn't that long. But if you think about it, if you're working, if you're working with a younger couple, just reach out to them and ask them what's changed. Maybe they've had an addition to the family, or maybe your client has purchased a new home and now they have a 30-year mortgage. Maybe they've gotten a promotion or they've changed jobs and now they have a higher salary that actually allows them, gives them the budget for a longer term duration. Again, it's just a few forms. Usually we can get the policy done, we can get them the new policy within a couple of weeks. It's a really simple process. For those right now who would be eligible, anybody between the ages of 20 and 75, as long as they were approved or their policy was issued per Preferred Plus through a Table 4, maximum face amount is $2 million. So if their policy is over $2 million, they wouldn't be eligible for this program. If they were a Table 5 through a Table 12, maximum face amount is $500,000. So they wouldn't be eligible if their face amount is over that. And then we've got a really easy way for you to see if you have any eligible policies. So if you are registered for our dashboard, when you log in, click on My Business and you'll see the drop-down menu. Towards the bottom, you'll see Term Exchange. Click on that. That's going to bring up all of your eligible policies for the term exchange. And it's going to give you all the information you need. It's going to tell you what term plan they have now, and then it will even tell you what products that they are eligible for. So it's going to give you all the information that you need in order to be able to run some quotes and see if this is going to work for your client. And then just to show you just a couple of examples, these are true cases where where somebody went ahead and exchanged their policy. So we have an individual, they took out a 10-year term plan, $100,000. They were 68 when the policy was issued. That gave them level term coverage till they were 78 years old. The premium was $2,355. They ended up exchanging that policy for a 15-year, because remember, our some of our issue ages go up to 75. So 15 years, maximum issue age is 75. So this is why they were able to do this. They exchanged their policy for a 15-year. The face amount has to remain the same, so they can't change that. So that was still $100,000. They are now issue age 72. So they came in just under that 4-year mark. So, but now they're 72 years old. They got that new policy. They now have level term coverage until they're 87. The premium did increase. It went up to $5,253, but they were able to pay that premium. The difference in premium was $2,898.84. That is what your commission will be based off of, that amount right there. To give you another example, this is on somebody who's a little bit younger. They took out a 30-year, $2 million. They were 38 years old. That gave them level coverage until they were 68. Their premium was $3,486. They exchanged their 30-year for a 35-year. Again, face amount has to remain the same, so it's still $2 million. They're now 40 years old. Their level term coverage is now going to take them till they're 75. Premium did increase to just a little over $5,000. The difference in premium is $1,524. That's what your commission is going to be based off of. And then one last thing I want to point out is, again, it's all about policy conservation. When you go into the partner dashboard and you're looking at your term exchange, right below that, you'll see policies in grace. We've added this segment to our dashboard as well for you to be able to quickly go in and look to see what policies may have entered their grace period. And probably a lot of the policies you're going to see, they're probably coming up to the end of their level term period, and maybe they're just going to let that policy lapse because it served its purpose for that level term period. But maybe you'll notice maybe that policy is in grace and maybe they're only in the 5th policy year. You can take a look at that and say, wow, I wonder if something, what's going on here, what's changed. Maybe I should reach out to the client just to make sure. A lot of times clients will move or insureds will move and they forget to give us their change of address. Maybe they didn't get their bill. So again, this is just a quick way. You can take a quick look, take a look at your clients, see if like something stands out. Maybe you'll notice, maybe something will stand out as a problem that you want to reach out to your client. And again, this is just giving you another reason to reach out to your client. Again, the term to term exchange, what's changed, policies in grace. You could say, hey, I noticed your policies in grace. Is this intentional, or is maybe there an issue there that we need to take care of to make sure their policy remains in force? We've got some great marketing material out there. So we've got marketing material on business cases, impaired risk cases, large cases. Anybody who's out there like doing P&C coverage, we've got a toolkit there for you as well. So really, why do business with us? We have a streamlined process that makes decision making a lot faster. We've got tailored solutions and we have expert collaboration. We are so excited to work with you. Thank you so much for your business. We truly appreciate every case you give us, whether it's $100,000 or a $30 million case. We truly, truly appreciate you and we appreciate your business.
Oh, thank you, Marty. That was fantastic. And by the way, I know Banner is going to be at our expo, but I'm sure Marty will be there as well. So if you're there, you'll get a chance to meet her face to face. But that was perfect, spot on. What I want to do next is jump into our orphan leads, how to get started. We have some great social media marketing that's being used today that's performing great. I want to share that as well. So I will get everyone out on time right before 3 p.m. We will put a bow on this, and then we'll have our giveaway. So how to get started. And I know a lot of you are appointed with Banner Life through Levinson, which is fantastic. If you're not, maybe you're with a competitor, that's okay. We can move you over to Levinson and match or beat your existing commissions. Usually we beat it. And you get to take advantage of cash for contracting or free orphan leads with your first paid application. And don't forget that $150 first app Banner Life coupon. Okay, so it's just a nice way to have some gas money, right? Some take your spouse out for a nice dinner, whatever it is, on us. And most important, the reason why we do it is we know once you go through the process A to Z, you're going to be off to the races and addicted because it's so simple. Okay, that's the reason why it's 150 bucks cash. And you know we have over 24,000 agents, so that could add up really quickly. But we know it will be a win-win-win across the board. Agent, client is happy, we're happy, Banner's happy, and everyone is off to the races. Let's keep moving forward. What I want to do next, and remember, you're going to get a thank you email with all of this inside for reference, so don't worry about that. But I do want to talk about some really important things. So our Insure Me Now Direct platform has been out for about maybe 10 years now. And Banner Life is the number one carrier as far as paid applications, as far as quoting, okay, on the platform, period. Okay, so the number one term on and off the platform, as well as, and if you will start on the bottom right corner, Assurity Life has great term with return of premium, okay, and some additional riders, great for mortgage protection. Gerber Life, guaranteed issue, final expense, okay? Legal in general, which will update the name to now Banner. Manhattan Life on the left side, they have some great niche products, okay? Also a great long-term care alternative product that's basically guaranteed issue. Now remember, this is all on the platform, so your client can literally jump on, they can run a quote, they can apply, get an instant decision. You wake up in the morning and boom, you have a new commission or a new notification saying case placed. That simple. You still get paid full commission. Okay. And most of these products have renewals and it's all straight through from the carrier. Okay. So there's no commissions taken out. There's no activation fees, maintenance fees, subscription fees, nothing. It's 100% complimentary. And here's what's so cool. The instant side is great. And then on the left-hand side, right, think about this, all of our other carriers in the traditional brokerage space. So your client can quote not just instant, but now traditional. And then let's say, for example, they like the protective life term quote or GUL, right? And they click protective life and they want to apply. A one-page form comes up and the client fills out basic information. It's basically an app request form. And then you get that email instantly, pick up the phone, call Bill Levinson and say, hey, Bill, I see you want to apply for protective life at $1 million. I just need a couple other things from you. Boom, 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 done. You just submitted the drop ticket on our iGo platform and you're done. Okay, so this could be 100% direct to consumer for all of your consumers, clients, prospects, friends, network. And then think about this. This is the most important part. I'm an agent out there, right? I'm working out of my third bedroom, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and thinking of new strategies. Any P&C agency, any health agency, any bank, okay, go knock on doors, go network, bring a $5 Starbucks gift card, whatever it is, make introductions because we could create a platform just for the bank or just for the PNC agency. In Florida, one of the largest PNC agencies is called Estrella, especially in the Latin community. Okay, this is their life division, so to speak. So think about the opportunities, they're endless. Okay, and it's all complimentary. And guess what? If you're the agent that referred them, you still get the commission split or the referral fee, whatever it is. You control the platform and the relationship. Okay, let's keep moving forward. Also, what I wanted to mention is you heard Marty talk about the term to term exchange, okay, which is great. Okay, think of like a term to perm conversions. Okay, term to term is also great because Banner has those extended term length policies. So now, think about this. We've been doing business with them for over 25 years. So imagine the amount of orphan leads that we have that need a call from you. Okay. Guess what? Once you write a minimum of 10,000 of premium in 12 months, we give you a batch of orphan leads complimentary. Okay. Those are like a slam dunk. So anyway, the opportunity is endless with Levinson. You already know that, so I'm not going to toot our horn anymore. I know most of you are with us anyway, but I just wanted to put that out there. These are the four major carriers on Insure Me Now Direct on the instant side. Okay, remember the right and left side? This is all instant, direct to consumer. Let's move over to the next slide here. And what we're going to, and I'm almost done, by the way, we're going to talk about the pro plan. So we offer you a free site. Okay. It works great. Very basic, very simple. It has your logo, your name, phone number, email, everything goes back to you. Great. The difference is this is a full customizable WordPress website. So if you want to start using like search engine optimization, SEO, writing blogs, right? Really driving a lot of traffic and kind of use this for your home base. And then if you're maybe writing P&C and health and you want to plug into this in your quote engines, you can do that as well. This is the pro version. So we have a third party tech company we teamed up with. This entire platform starts at $2,000 and goes up from there. But it's about half of the price, as if maybe you reached out to some third party tech company and they already have all the platforms and templates and they plug into our system. So it works great if you're at that level. Or if you say, Bill, I want to start with not a penny out of pocket, we have that platform too, and it works just great. Okay, so you don't have to worry about this unless you want to take it a step further. Let's keep moving forward. These are all of our marketing tools. I'm going to focus on marketing for the next 3 slides. And it's important to know because you need customized co-branded videos, right? Social media posts, e-blasts for your campaign, right? Think about your book of business, okay? And it's not like it was, 20, 30 years ago, where if you had a business owner client, maybe they had a big whole life policy or a UL that wasn't guaranteed, who knows, whatever the case is, typically they were focused on their one product, they were fine, but now leveraging technology, you're going to get the message out to your entire book of business to talk about critical illness, to talk about disability, to talk about accidental death benefit protection that's guaranteed issue with built-in guaranteed return of premium. If they don't die by an accident, they get all their money back. There are so many things, long-term care. Okay, so what you do, think of like these little nails you're dropping all over the floor, right? All over your clients, and hopefully they hit on one of them and they say, you know what? I need a quote for critical illness, or my daughter-in-law was just talking about disability income. I didn't know I can get 5, 6,000 on the website, direct to consumer instant decision. You can. And now you're just sprinkling the message out to your whole network, right? Through social media, e-blast, mass text messaging, all the above. And we have all the material to do that, and it's free. Okay? The list goes on and on. Let's keep moving forward. This is our turnkey library. We're going to include all of these links. The next slide is our social media posts that we're using today. We have agencies using these today to drip on their database, and they're working great. And the best part is it's free. It's common sense, very simple. Okay, we have probably 30 to 40 different versions. And then again, we can co-brand this for you to start to drive people back to your Insure Me Now direct site. Let's keep moving forward. The Bill Levinson Experience podcast, this episode 61, okay, I mentioned it earlier. Kent uses Banner Life, I would say, for more than half of his business. He is crushing it. He's got a great story, personal and business, very inspiring, very motivational. I think, and not only do I think, I know you'll walk away with some great ideas and nuggets from this podcast. It's free. It's on all the major podcast platforms, including YouTube. Take a look. I want to know your thoughts. Remember, there's no paid ads, no nothing. These are just trainings meant to help our agents, period. Let's move on to the next. By the way, next month, I have a great guest speaker who is crushing it just on the annuity side. So that's going to be a good one and a first for Levinson. So you'll love what's coming up next month. Upcoming training. So a couple of things I want to talk about. Free CE for all of our agents. Okay, I know your eyes are peeled back right now because everyone wants free CE, needs free CE. Okay, so on the 2nd of next month, October 2nd, 9 a.m., if you're in South Florida or in even Florida, Georgia, you want to make a trip down, we have part 2 of our IUL workshop. You get free CE credit just by being at our Breakfast and Learn workshop. Okay. On top of it, you're going to learn about the #1 IUL and all the top sales strategies built around it and what agents are using today to drive new IUL business. Right hand side, same exact structure, same place in South Florida, on November 7th with Manhattan Life. Great supplemental products all built into Insure Me Now Direct. Let's keep moving forward. Almost done. I have one more slide and we'll put a bow on this. These are our upcoming trainings. Think of like a breakfast and lunch and dinner menu. Okay. That is what you're looking at in front of you in this light blue color. All of our upcoming trainings. On the left-hand side, we have Assurity Life. They're another big player on our Insure Me Now Direct platform. Kansas City Life made some major changes for end of year and then coming up in 26. So you're going to want to be on that webinar as well. And then here's what I'm really excited about. We haven't done it in a while now that mortgage protection leads are back. Okay, bigger and better. And I know it's only going to get bigger and better, especially with this rate cut and 2 more to come, hopefully. So supercharge your lead strategy. We have our third-party vendor on the 9th at 2 p.m. of October. Moving over to the right-hand side, Columbus Life for last quarter. We have Keith, our VP, who's going to be on. He's got some great niche products we're going to jump into. And then our indexed annuity and MIGA latest strategies with Lincoln Financial. They have some great products. And then Baltimore Life, we're going to focus on annuity and the life side. That's on the 6th of November. And then, of course, we'll break for Thanksgiving. And then we have more to come for December. Let's go to our final slide. I hope you were paying attention because we have our giveaway right now. But first, I'm going to talk about my Positive Tuesday quote, which hopefully you're doing the same thing, okay? Not with cars and quotes, but hopefully, whatever, calling it Long-Term Care Tuesday, all right? IUL Friday. And you're putting something out there every single week on every social media platform that you have up and running and active, because you have to be remembered. You have to be known as, hey, the guy with the cool haircut in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, you know, the gift to gab personality, right? They have to have your little picture in the corner of all of your marketing with your logo, because it's going to come up just a matter of time. Hey, did you hear about a disability income policy that you can get outside of work? No. Tell me more. Oh, call that cool guy, Bill Levinson with the neat haircut. Okay, whatever it is, you've got to be known as the guy or girl, the guru, and this is how we do it. This is for our agents, not for consumers. But I just want to kind of lay out how we do things, and hopefully you're doing the same. The past and memories will take us back. Dreams and goals will take us forward. Keep moving forward no matter what. Have your blinders on, laser focused, 24/7. That's how you get great things done. Okay, question of the day. Very simple, and I hope you were paying attention, and this is going to tell us if you were or not. Has to do with Banner Life. Okay, little hint, 2-part question. Tell us, for instant decision, the max issue age and max death benefit. For instant decision, 100% direct to consumer. Max issue age, max death benefit for instant decision with Banner Life, up to $4 million. 2-part question, 2 answers. Andrew's going to tell us who was first and correct. Andrew?
Yep, we have a winner, Julie L. Julie L.
Julie L. The answer was age 60 to $4 million. Instant decision direct to consumer by Banner Life. Thank you to each and every one of you for spending this hour with us. Hopefully you'll go on the Google reviews page, our Levinson Facebook page, leave a review, and you're all a winner, because I'll send you an IUL prospecting book, compliments of Levinson and Associates for all active agents. Have a great Thursday afternoon, a great week, great weekend, great selling, and thank you again.